Well, seems to be my favorite phrase. I'm going to put this top on and see what I need to do. I've got it laid down here on the floor where it's pretty flat. I can see that somebody's already kind of did some sectioning in it, but I've got some straight pieces here. So first thing I'm going to do is cut this this old piece out of here. Give myself I'm just going to cut it on these straight lines. Don't know what's going on in this area. It don't look very straight. But give myself a little straight edges here. Just cut this out and we'll go on from there. I got this roof cut piece out of it that was bad. A couple inches of rusty stuff. I cut it right up to the old seam line. I set it on here, but what I did do was I've got a big gap there. Well, I can fix that. Don't look like I had that quite straight. Should have been tilted back a little, or the back should have been gone up a little. Anyway, too late now. This body's tacked into the door jamb now on both sides. This one's kind of the same. It's a awfully tight door gap right there. I can change that a little with the hinges. This piece here, I put it up this much. I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, this is welded up on the inside. You can't really see much there. There you can see where I burnt through, or where it penetrated. So this seam is all clamped pretty straight. Door closes good. It looks like there's a little bend in the body right here. I don't know whether I'll try to get that out. I might be able to heat shrink it. Might be able to just put a slice in it. But anyway, the point is I've got this body here good onto this passenger compartment frame. So this body's really not going anywhere. Got a pretty good bend in that. Might try to put a little more in this one. If I did that, I would push that door forward, or push the skin forward. I don't know. I'm not going for perfect on this thing. I think it's going to be close enough. Now I've got this solid. I can fool around here and put this top where it fits the best, and clamp it a couple places up there on top, see what it looks like. you know, the more I look at this, the worse it looks. If I take this door, you know, it's going in maybe half an inch, and this is all pretty straight. It looks like it's got a little curve in it here. But if I come over here to this side, man, you can see that it's way different. See, that's a good inch. It's kind of straight right here, but you can see that it's really bad. It really curves out. So I'm not going to try to put this top on it with that shape in it. I think what I can do is just slice this thing down to about here somewhere, and clamp me a good flat bar across here and just cut and butt it. Now, I was kind of looking at what had caused it, and I'm not sure, but this fender, or this whatever rear piece, had good edges on it and it fit the door frame. The other one was cut off, and I think what happened, I'm really not sure why. I'll measure this bottom here, make sure the bottom is the same, but I'm just going to take a slice out of this, flatten it up. I hate to cut that, but I can't live with that either. You know, that's is really bad. Plus it'll open up my door gap if that's not bent. That's why that door gap is so tight there, is because this whole frame here has kind of been buckled in to fit. So, and over there, that one's got that big hole in it, so that might have been part of the reason. I'll do a little measuring, maybe from that fender well to the door jamb, and do the same one here. See where I can see where it's at, but it doesn't make any difference because this body's welded on there. It's not going anywhere, and I've got it all straight on the inside, so nothing to do really except just cut this, see what I can do about straightening it out. Well, I sliced this, and it moved an inch, but you can see that it's almost going back in. This radius piece right here is what's stopping it. But you can see what's happening there. This whole back piece is coming up. If I push this in half an inch, that's going up an inch. So, I'm not sure. This was probably crushed in pretty good. But even if I was to weld that right now, you know, it's a lot better than it was, even taking down, you know, this stuff. But it really needs to go in about up to there. And when I do that, that's moving up at least a ½ inch. So, and that's all been leaded, just like the other side. And same thing right here. I could slice this right here. That'd let me bring this top part in without raising that up. I'm going to check this from this corner to the floor. But the thing is when it's going up and down like that, it's pulling away from my bar that I welded in there. Now I suppose I could somehow put a porta power in there and jack that bar up, or cut it and bend it. But obviously I hope I don't have to do anything like that. Oh, there it is. I was looking out the hole in the trunk, thought it was a window. You can see it moving there. Don't know. I think I'll measure the distance here, but I'll bet you this one's lower than the other one. So, you know, just a couple slice cuts in this curve would let me just move this in. You know, one width of the blade was enough to almost pull this thing straight. I unclamped it there in the middle to let it move, so some of it went into the other side, which is good. We'll see. I'll try to figure it out, but this is going to be simple weld here. Well, I put a porta power in here, and I jacked that corner up there about an inch, maybe a little less, and it pulled this panel almost straight. You know, with a little more tweaking here, you know, I got maybe a 1/16 of an inch I cut out of here, and this gave me a real straight, or straight enough. You know, now I'm down to like ½ an inch, which is acceptable. That's what the other side is. And my brace here, well, it screwed me up there. At least on this front one for sure. Raise the back up over here about 3/4 of an inch. Well, I can cut that. Just take a slice across that 1-inch bracket there. Pound it up until it's holding it. The back one I'm not too concerned about, because wherever that gets cut off and welded in will hold that. I just like that round pipe to fit the round molding. So yeah, my brace, maybe I was a little premature on that, but it's nothing that I can't fix and weld. And definitely have this fixed up. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Not very much, just enough to get it to close up here. And tack this back together. And I think a lot of this problem has to do in here with some of the solder, and it looks like the metal has been cracked. And I see signs of something's been laying on it here. Could have been somebody just threw something on this and it was kind of heavy and crushed it down. That's what that side sort of looks like. And that put a big bow in here. So I'll just clean this up here and get it tacked together, and then I'll figure out what's going on here. I'll probably I'll try to grind off some of this lead. I don't want to take it all off again like I did the other side. It was a nasty job, but I think I'm okay right up in this area, and I can get it off enough to sand and weld that crack, and that'll give this a strength back. And before, the window was kind of tilted back, and by raising this up, it's giving me kind of a forward tilt now. So, and it looks like I can take out that 1/2-inch piece. We'll see. First thing is to fix this cut that I put in it. Well, that looks a lot better than it did. And still got a little hump in it right here. But that's really not too bad. Maybe maximum 3/4 of an inch. And I was hoping that some of it transferred over here. That's about 1/2 inch. So, not a perfect job, but I still can raise this up now that this is welded. See if this pulls it in any. Yeah, it's not really pulling it in anymore. Don't know what caused it, but I think I can, this can still be bent around a little. Haven't really, that's just skin tacked back together. I could probably put a piece of round bar in there and curve it, weld it in, and that'll hold that. But it really changed my bracket here. I jacked it up way too high, I think. Let it down and see what we got. I just didn't put much more of a kink back in here. Turned out pretty good, actually. And we're almost back down to the bar here. So I'll finish this straightening this up with yeah, it's flexing right there in the middle. I'll work on this a little more. Maybe I'll take off some of this solder and see if I can push that plate in and weld it and hold it up. I welded up this cracked corner right here, and of course I got a lot of solder on it and I didn't do too good a job, but I did get that crack fixed and let it back down, and it's holding pretty good shape here. I think what the problem was is that, you know, I measured these doors here, and I just put 2 inches in there, and it looked close enough with the body at the time, but I had this big bend in this one, so I think the doors are actually in a little too far. What I can do is put a porta power there in the bottom across the 2 doors and loosen up the mounts and try to spread them a little, and that should give me a little straighter shot. I'll give that a try and see what happens. Well, that actually was a pretty good solution. This is like a 1/2 inch. I moved it maybe 3/4 of an inch on that bracket. That side was moving first, of course, because they don't have a door that slams tight. And I got it pretty straight and clamped it, and then jacked it some more. This one come out to help my door gap. It's hitting around the middle of the door here, and right where I cut it, middle of that bend, I got about a 1/2 inch. And on this passenger side, got about the same. It's hitting right about the middle of the door. Got about a 1/2 inch, and it's right in the middle of this, which is about where the biggest bend is. You can see it up here at top. So that straightened the car out, and my pipe is back to where it should be. Worst comes to worst, I might have to re-weld those brackets. Yeah, both of them moved about 1 inch here on this side. Well, it makes sense the front and back would both move because it's all welded pretty solid across the top. But that got the body plenty straight. I mean, I've got a little bit of curve in it, and but the whole car is kind of big in the back and curving towards the front, so I think that's livable. Probably I could cut this center bar up here and jack this frame out even more. Well, you know, you make something by the best measurement you can, and then when you try to put it all together, if it don't line up, then you have a little bit of a problem. But this is push this out a little, and looks like my skin there is lining up. This skin, of course, is still real bowed. I don't know why. But that's a problem for another day. This is real tight into the top of the cowl. I don't know. But I think I got the back here good enough to try mounting this top. Like here I had an 1.5 inches above my frame, and the window's tilting forward just a little bit. I'd like to get it down to 1 inch, but we're hitting here and I'm up on top here, so I can probably take that 1/2 inch out. And same thing, we're hitting here and we're a little high here. Yeah, my door gap opened up there. Well, that's easy enough to fix. Main thing is that the back of it's level again now and sitting on my original inside structure, so I can weld it in the top. Now I can see this top one here, it's got a pretty big kink bend into it. Same deal as the other side. Maybe I ought to actually cut that top bar across there. See if I can tilt this whole. You just expand the top. I don't know. I hate to base it all off of roofs that probably didn't even fit the car to start with. We'll try to put this on and tag it and see what it looks like. Well, I marked the center of the window here and the center of this package tray. So I've got the and then I threw a weld right there in the center of it. So this is on the body. The shape that I had trimmed before is still good, and I've got this side plate here pretty close to this door. Looks like I'm like maybe 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch off of the frame. This door straight, and over on this side You can see this is kind of curved in, but up here on the top where the curve is, I've got a good inch, more than an inch. This little curved piece is hitting my door bracket. This should come out. I know it's welded in there, but it's the way it goes. And everything's all kind of about the same here. So I think what happened, I've got an inch on this side and about an inch over there. So I think what I did is I actually made this gauge too small, about 1.5 inches. I've already moved the bottom out, you know, 1 inch or so to get the bottom panels to line up. And I just welded this cage in square. Best I could do is just get everything all square and perpendicular. But I think what I need to do is cut that back one, spread it about 2 inches, 1.5 inches. And that'll bring the whole door jamb out. I can't really do anything about this front one. What I could do is just put a slit in this front piece here, so it'll bend and let that open up. And then patch it, weld it back together. Well, I did the best I could. You know, I started off with 2 inches down there. I need 3. I can probably keep my 2 here in the front because this is kind of matching the cowl. I can spread it open. It's gonna kill any 90s that I have in here, of course. But I think if I open this up, you know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, it's going to bring this, all of this stuff out to approximately where the hood is. I mean, the roof. I really had no way of measuring it. You know, it was all laying on the ground, floppy. But if I assume that this door here is almost right, which it looks pretty good, then I need to move it at least 1 inch plus 1/2 inch on this side, 1 inch on the right, 1/2 inch on the left. So really there's not much question about what I got to do here. I really hate to put a weld into it, but it's the way it goes. And I may have to do something with this front one. You know, it'll still be plenty strong. I just need to open it up. Don't know what it's going to do to my frame here on the bottom where I got the mounts. Of course, if I open this up, it's going to tweak them a little bit. Twist them just a little. I don't know, I forget my trig, but say I moved out an inch, and this is 4 feet, say 48 inches. Half base times the height, so a half an inch, 0.5 times 48. That's going to give it about 12 degrees or something. Shouldn't really make much difference, because you shouldn't tweak it, because I can open these body mounts up. I probably have to cut them off. I've already got an inch there. At this point, I could just put another 1-inch bar in there, but I'm only got an inch to bolt through now, and the bar should be on the inside. I wanted a good bracket there, but I haven't really completely committed to where those are at. They're welded good, but nothing I can't move. And front one's the same. I don't know, may have to do these body mounts, but anyway, they're good enough to line up everything. And when I figure out exactly what I am doing, then I can redo them. Kind of tired. I hate to try to press on anymore with cutting this thing, but basically I know it's got to be done, whether I do it tired or not. At least I could kind of see what's happening. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to cut it in two and clamp a piece in there and see if it does any good. Well, that more or less solved it. It immediately popped open where I cut it. I just put one little tack here to hold this, and it's kind of straight, and the door is leaning out just a little. This one is basically about the same. Looks like it could come out some more, but it opened up there maybe 1.25 inches. I could still pull this one out a little bit. Didn't affect any of the door swinging or anything. And I do have the bottom clamped, so they are probably kind of holding it together. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. This door is looking really good now. That bend's almost completely gone. Enough for today. I know what I gotta do. Gotta finish adjusting this, make sure it's all right, and then I can determine what I gotta do with my clamps, my patch up there, and I can save this roof. I need to put a straight bar across that bent place up there too. That might flex the sides out. Anyway, the roof is real close to where it should be, and I'm going to go ahead and just try to get me a uniform curve here for the body. This one here don't look bad at all. Of course, that door's not been cut up. It's real straight. This one's still got a little bit of a curve to it. Probably ought to put a couple braces and straighten that one. Anyway, sorry my brackets didn't work out the first time, but I was actually kind of surprised that it was going as good as it was. So now I'll just have to cut and weld, make new brackets, and press all it. Like and subscribe, guys. You might learn something from this. While pressing on with this thing, I clamped me a piece in there, sort of straightened that roof out. It's got some bends in it, and I've got a piece for the door jamb here. It was originally welded to a 1-inch bar. The guy cut it out when he chopped up that door, but I can get this bar off, clean it up, and I can put it up in here in this door, and that'll tell me what I gotta match as far as this roof goes. I'll get that cut up and cleaned up, and I'll show you. Got that piece cut off and cleaned up. I set it in here and got the door to close and clamped it right here with this big clamp, so it's staying closed on the bottom, and the brackets there on the 1-inch piece. But this looks like it's got to come out at least a ½ inch or so here on the top to get it to match the door at all. Breathed coffee down the wrong hole. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do, is unclamp some of this stuff up here on top, and I broke my roof loose so I could get it back. This seam right here doesn't even really look very close, but I think this main skin here should probably go back, according to this anyway, maybe a ½ inch. Well, it wouldn't be that big a deal to cut this loose. And looks like my brackets are moved back too far from where I designed them, so it looks like I originally had this gap about a ½ inch forward. And how much room I got on this? I got plenty of room. So most likely I gotta cut that all off of there. I just used a little tiny tack, so that shouldn't be that big a deal. And move the whole body forward a little on this side. Anyway, I'll try to get this straight first, and then I'll take this off and see what I can do about moving it forward. I was sure that was going to be right, but I can tell I got ½ inch up here and 1/4 inch down to bottom, so it really wasn't right. C'est la vie. Press on. Well, this is in about the width of a finger. And I thought it was because of this brace here. And I looked at the brace, pulled it out. This frame is 2 inches from the edge of the door. I measured the other side, it's 2 inches from the face of the door. Couldn't figure out what was going on, but it turns out that I can't use the edge on that thing. I'm gonna have to beat it out flat, because this one, I got the same thing. This is a finger's width inside of the door. Matches pretty good down here, but not up here on top. This one I tacked in pretty good already. Well, probably really good. But I have to cut it off, move it out about 3/8 of an inch. So this piece will be flush with the door. When I put it up there, I just assumed it would be alright. I guess I shouldn't be assuming. I should be just tacking and welding. So this one over here is not done yet, not even tacked in or anything, and I can still get this door open. So that's what I'll have to do. I'll take this piece and this inside lip right here, I'll just beat that flat and weld this to the frame. I'll just match the outside of the door here. This part is what's going to look good or bad, and then I can make the roof fit it, whatever that happens to be. I took this one out, flattened that edge, put it in, push it over, lines up perfectly with the door. So I got enough room to tack it up here. So that's what I'll do, is tack it, and you know, if I go down just a little, yep. So I can tack it right there, and I can tack it right there, and that'll pretty much give me what I need here. Then I can take it out, weld it in, or take the door, open the door and weld it in. We'll see what happens. There we go, all tacked in. I just cut this little plate off of here. I think this is where my no, it goes down here in the bottom. I need to make a fill plate for this, but I've got my curve here right. The door closes, fits good. My brackets are back to where they should be. The door is good enough for me. So I probably have to put some kind of little brace inside there, but I need to rust converter it first. I ground most of it out, but there's still quite a bit left in there, and I think will be good enough for this. That door gap is pretty tight. I may cut that weld right there and move it just a little bit, or maybe just try to bend it. But it's a lot better than the 3/8 of an inch that I had before. Open a little much down here on the bottom, but I can beat that in some. It's not welded yet. I put one tack in it right in the middle. So looks like my don't know what's going to happen with my top. But it's a lot closer than it was. And I can still open this top up quite a bit. The main thing that this door edge is straight with the door. I can still crank this open. I think I'm pretty good on the other side. Still more tweaking, but at least I know what I got to do now. And I got to get over there to that door, fix it up. Somehow all this bending, my latch started sticking, but I think I just need another washer in it. Looks like it's hitting the edge of the bolt. I'll get that fixed. That took a little doing, but I finally got this cut off and moved out, and looks pretty good here. I've got it in a little, but it's got a slight bend to it. I think I can take a hammer and knock this out just a little bit to make it flush, or bondo it up. But this one's straight with the door now. It was a bit of a deal to get it cut off, but I finally did. Of course, got a lot of patching up in there to do. Main thing is it more or less straight with the door, and I can move on with trying to locate this thing. My little weld broke. Of course, I was expecting that. I just barely tacked it in. I'll try to sort out how this roof is going to go on here a little better. Maybe I'll get a few tacks in it. I really need to weld that 3/8 piece up in there to make that strong. So I'll get that done. I mean, I can get it located like it is, but then I unclamp it, clamp something else in it, changes it a little. But I think I'm all right. This door's got a little bit of whoopity-doo, but we're looking pretty straight down the side. And this one's looking pretty good. I might need to spread it just a little. But I've got it at least the body skin straight with the door now. We'll see what I can do about getting this roof located.